I want to say you that I knew personally two cartoonists from Charlie Hebdo. One of them was Tinu, who was also a member, a cartooning for Peace member. And the other one, Volansky, the most aged, he had 80, went once to Ecuador as a jury of a humor contest, where I won the first place.
Nicely done.
So, when I read the news, I was really shocked. I was really shocked because it's different when you. This act was terrible. This act was absolutely condemnable, as many terrorist acts. But when you see the name of your friends or people that you knew personally or you embrace once, it's very hard and shocking. But I said before, the cartoonists are in fashion now, but all journalists are in risk today. But not only journalists, citizens. Association of citizens are in risk in regimes, authoritative regimes. Doesn't matter which profession you have. If you are a citizen in Ecuador, for example, there were many people that at the street, when the president is coming with su caravana presidencial,
his presidential cabinet,
with 12 cars, an ambulance, the president of Ecuador. Yesterday I saw the president of Latvia, and I could shake his hand. But there are some presidents in Latin America. Yesterday we laughed with other colleagues from Latin America for the way our presidents act. So, and I was telling that some citizens at the street cry something to the president. The presidential car Renault
came to a stop.
Yeah, and personally he get out to look for the guy who has cried a moment before. So you don't need to be cartoonist, journalist. Only as a citizen, you have risks.
So I'm sure you heard the news earlier this week from Luz, Charlie Hebdo caricaturist.
Yes.
He said he's no longer interested in drawing Mohammed anymore, or the old French president Sarkozy anymore, just because it doesn't interest him anymore. And have you ever changed the work you do based off reactions you get from the public?
No, but at first I want to know. But I also hear that Mahoma doesn't have interest no more in Luz. Mahomet.
Nice.
Mahomet is no more interested in Luz. So they are free, Mahomet and Luz. They are free to stop the drawing and to stop Yeah. Normally, journalists and cartoonists try to politicians change some things. That's the reason why journalists investigate, denounce, or cartoonists draw to focus on some problems and things that we consider are wrong. That's normal. Presidents change. But now, presidents want that journalists change. No, that I was condemned to rectify my cartoon. It's the first time in the world that I know that a cartoonist is condemned to rectify. Normally, a cartoonist is censored, it is forbidden to publish, but to order to rectify. How do you rectify a cartoon? Please don't draw me the nose so big, or something like that. It's stupid. So I think cartoonists, we don't have to change. It are politicians who have to change.
Yeah. I have a question.
Sure.
I'm taking a class at the university, and it's about political cartooning. And we're learning that one of the things we learned about political cartooning is that cartoons aren't supposed to convince someone something. They're supposed to just say one side of a message. Do you understand? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't convince someone of an issue with your cartoon. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's just...
the role of a political cartoon is not to be two-sided or objective. It's to be super subjective, right?
Yeah. Do you agree?
Again, I think many styles and many situations, but I think that cartoon is as a, how do you say,
a fishing rod.
A fishing rod. You lanzas.
You throw.
You throw your fishing
rod,
and expecting that a fish, that a spectator, that a reader take your message. And there are some things that you don't fish nothing. Yeah? I think that a cartoonist doesn't change the mind of readers, because the reader has to have the same mind, the same opinion. If he doesn't have, he can't laugh. He can't laugh, because humor is a phenomenon of identity, complicity, like love. It's like love. If there isn't complicity, there is no humor, there is no laugh. It was what happened with Charlie Hebdo, for example. There were many people who liked this kind of humor. Yeah, and other people that found it humor very disgusting. So for these people, there isn't humor. Doesn't exist. It's impossible to talk about humor. But the people who laugh, obviously, he finds humor because they have the similar mind, the similar opinion.
Yeah, it's true.
So they can convince the reader. The reader is already convinced.
Right. So you don't think a cartoonist could change a reader's mind?
No, when I started with this job, I thought that art, humor can change the mind, can change the world, make the revolution in the minds of and that's not true. Our mind changes and evolve by many ways. So thinking, reading, life experience, love, etc.
So has Charlie Hebdo, do you think there are any lessons, not just for, well, I guess, sure, I mean, are there any lessons for you as a cartoonist that you could take away from this incident, or do you think there's no sense to be made of it in general?
I think that that what is good of this bad, of this terrible act, the good part is that put in relevance the issue of freedom of speech, the issue of tolerance. With this case, I think the world can think or can focus more in the how necessary is tolerance. Because if we don't have tolerance, we can arrive at this level of stupidity. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's the good thing of this bad news. So that's the lesson. I think we have to make force to insist in spreading this message, spreading this this value, this principle of tolerance.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything?
Another thing. Continuously, there are some people who said, no, Charlie Hebdo trespass the limits.
Right.
But I ask, who trespassed the limit? The cartoonists, the drawers, or the guys who shot the gun? Obviously, who shot the gun. Because they trespassed the limit of the life respect of life. That's a limit that we have to respect. The limit of mock of gods or has to be respect. I defend also the right to offend. That right has to be respect also.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Whoa. Okay.